how everything is upside down.
Remember that you're standing on a planet that's evolving and revolving at 900 miles an hour.
Yeah, pretty friggin' close, aren't they? Needless to say, the sequence would be a lot better if there were some animated Terry Gilliam movies floating around.
The creatures are so crazy in their wonderland, they don't know that it's turned around.
And I know I talked about this before in my top 11 scariest nostalgic moments, but I'm gonna bring it up again. Just before the evil wizard finishes his song, for a split second he makes one of the scariest faces, period.
Everything at my command.
Did you miss it? Let's play it again.
Everything at my command.
God damn, is that freaky! Let it haunt your nightmares for weeks! Oh, don't think it's that bad? Don't think it's that creepy? Let's try replacing it with that scary face from the Don't Be Afraid of the Dark trailer. Fucking scary!
Do you think for a single moment that a silly, frightened, plain little girl like you could fool anyone into believing that you are a real princess?
No! He's torturing me with observations about my plainness!
So, in a rather bizarre move, he leads her into the room where the queen is, and everybody believes that she's the princess. Well, why did you do that, dumbass? You had her right there. You could have killed her or locked her up or something. Instead, you just sped up their plan. You know, instead of evil wizard, I think they should have called you friggin' dumb ox.
Tomorrow she shall become Queen of Wonderland.
So, unlike the queen in the original book, who was nasty and hate-filled, this queen is nice and jolly, and clearly has no idea how to govern because these are some damn weird rules they have to abide by.
The wizard has hidden my daughter somewhere to make certain she'll miss the coronation tomorrow. I'll have no choice but to pass my crown on to him.
Well, why don't you just stay queen then?
I'd have him cast out of Wonderland this instant, but I have no proof.
What if you needed proof in Wonderland? Did you hear the song? Everything's topsy-turvy and upside down. What's with all the laws?
With you standing in place of the princess, the wizard cannot be crowned King of Wonderland.
And yeah, that's another thing. Have you noticed what the princess's name is? Princess. Have you noticed what the queen's name is? Queen! How can you swear at people in this world of rules and laws when you don't even know what their fucking names are? So they dress her up and teach her how to be all princessy so she can fool the crowd.
How difficult can drinking tea and playing croquet be?
Apparently not as hard as finding a good editor.
Hang on, little lady.
Wonderful. You're doing great, Alice. Thanks to my friendly flamingo.
I just happen to be the best in the business.
Rise and shine, get a glow, 'cause you know you're gonna shine like the star you are.
So by following the hats, the group makes it to a cave where they find the Mad Hatter, who apparently was smart enough to lead people to the princess's location, but not actually smart enough to save her himself. You know, the lack of logic of the character's lack of logic really lacks of logic.
That's what? You like hats? I'm mad about hats.
Well, I've heard of worse reasons for a song.
Now, a hat is a wonderful thing, you see. Everyone's got its own personality. You just slip it on, and instantly you can be anybody that you want to be. You like it?
Isn't there a princess we were supposed to save? Crowning ceremony that could happen at any moment. Sort of a time is of the essence thing here, you know. Is there a hat to shut you the fuck up?
You like hats? I'm mad about hats.
So they find the princess is being held in the living room of the Jabberwocky. Strange, but stupid. Where they get her out and escape the giant beast.
Come on, let's get out of here.
But what about the Jabberwocky? He's got a thorn in his paw. The poor creature. That explains why he's so miserable.
Makes me totally forget the fact that he held me hostage and is dooming a nation. So of course they pull the thorn out, and the Jabberwocky is suddenly a good guy.
Thank you.
Oh, you're very welcome, Mr. Jabberwocky.
Call me Stan. It's much easier to say.
Okay, Stan. Yeah, the Jabberwocky that we just met in the third act is named Stan. And yet, there's still 3 major characters with no names. Where are your priorities, movie? Do you just want us to forget we watched you? So he starts flying them to the castle, where Alice is now being commanded to do the princess test.
What's the princess test?
It's a test that only a true princess can pass.
Well, you take a dozen mattresses, take one teeny tiny little pea, and then run a DNA test. See if it matches the queen. Pretty straightforward. So I guess the Book of Wonder calls for her to climb a mountain, bring a cup of water down from the well to make the sleeping flowers bloom. You know, this doesn't seem especially princessy. I mean, where in the book does it say she has to climb a freaking mountain in a goddamn ball gown? Is this really training a Navy SEAL by having a tea party? Oh, hey, look, it's Darkheart!
Be brave, little Alice. Believe in yourself, because here's the most important part. While others all remember to use their heads, you just remember to use your heart. That's right. Remember to use your heart.
That was okay, but it's no pig power in the house!
You just remember to use your heart. That's right. Remember to use your heart. I said remember to use your heart. That's right. You remember.
Yeah, do you think you could give me a lift up or something? I mean, the rap is nice, but I have to climb this mountain in heels, for God's sake. Nothing? Nada? Okay, I'm just gonna act like you have a point in this movie.
So she gets the water from the well and somehow climbs down without spilling it, but then comes across a unicorn, which she can't help but give the water to. And wouldn't you know it, that was part of the test. What a shock. But it's not over yet. She still has to make the flowers bloom. Now how the hell is she gonna do that? Well, I guess deep down inside, maybe she was really special enough to find the heart and courage to rule over a kingdom, discovering that she's much stronger than she ever thought possible.
You're wrong. I'm the fake.
Or they just switch places. That works too.
Double, double your refreshment. Double, double your enjoyment.
So the jig is up and the wizard is sent to jail, allowing Alice to finally return home. That must be a pretty entertaining story to tell the folks.
Dad, I just got back from Wonderland where an evil wizard tried to take over, but some magic bears helped me out to save a princess and make the flowers bloom.
Take your meds!
Hey, where's Grumpy going?
I got a pretty good idea.
Oh yeah, would you like to know what this running gag with Grumpy being hungry all the time finally amounts to? Oh, you're gonna be so happy!
Grumpy. Now hold your tushy tags, it's time I spoke. Can't remember when I ate last. I've been starving since we started and that's no joke. Man, I was fading fast.
Really? You're giving us a rap. A grumpy rap. This is what the whole movie has been building that goddamn joke up to this whole time. That's really dumb.
Well, I'm filling up my belly with ice cream and jelly and topping it with pickled beets.
Pickled beets?
Uh-huh. Topping it with pickled beets. Oh, yeah.
But hey, on the bright side, at least we don't want to hear a rap from the Cheshire Cat.
Yo, Grumpy Bear, I gotta hand it to you. Yeah, Alice and the princess and the queen of hearts and did right by my man Stan. You put the wizard in his place, now everything's safe. Everything in Wonderland.
You'll meet Coopers and Troopers, the princess and the others. Hanging with the plumbers, you'll be hooked on the brothers to the bridge.
I can't wait to eat, with the Care Bear family. That's right.
Pickled beets?
Oh, and that joke worked so well the first time, you just had to repeat it, huh? Well, repeat this. This movie sucks! They all do, but this one in particular is just so forgettable. The story is fluff, the characters are fluff. The only thing that's kinda neat is when you see something creatively weird in Wonderland, but even then that's very rare and it's usually played very safe and conservative. So there's not much to look at. While the second one was probably worse, I have to admit, that one at least had Darkheart, who is much more memorable than anything else in this flick. Except for that. All I gotta say is I'm glad I'm done with these movies. They're far too cutesy and bland for my taste. I'm a nostalgia critic, and I don't care.
Did someone say care?
Excuse me one moment.
Who's that coming from somewhere up in the sky? Moving fast and bright as a firefly. Through that careless countdown and send a wish out through the air.
Pickled beets? Oh.
I'm just not special.